to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. Woohoo! Party! Happy Panacook Tuesday, as Mr. Insights is saying here in the Zoom call with us. Today indeed is Tuesday. Tuesday, where are we here? 9th of April, 9 a.m. on the wet coast. Ready to rock and roll. Tuesday, 9th of April, 2024. Here we go. Geez, what can I tell you guys? Should add Eclipse events into our is this a is this a liquidity event window? I'm kind of feeling like it is, anybody who's taken our level 1 education program, week 11. I don't know whether the level 1ers are at week 11 yet or not, but anyway, liquidity events. And I got a funny feeling we just went through a major pivot event there. So only time will tell, but it is interesting when I look at things like, all you crypto fans, corn, just going absolutely insane into the eclipse event. And then as we're rolling out through the other side of the eclipse event, we're kind of losing steam here. And of course, we got our big fundamental event coming up here. Now, actually, we have a whole bunch of trap bulls. In fact, I think tomorrow night, we will do another Coinigy video with Joe down in Portland, eating his ranch, and talk lots with him about, wicks and tails like to be eaten. I think this was a really, really good example of a wick eaten. And then interesting, today's price action, they tried to and this is a weekly chart. So right out of the gate, they tried to push the market up here. And now, do we have a whole bunch of trap bulls up top here? It's looking kind of interesting. If we zoom in on that Bitcoin chart, what I find fascinating is these darn reload zones. It was almost like the market wanted to leave and it was just sucked back down into the reload zone. And actually, this is a really good lesson why we have to see a market structure. Hey, Leandro's over there on YouTube. Nice to see you, bud. And hello, Nori. Hello, Adam. Hello, Garrett. I won't leave you guys out. Anyway, point here is if this was really indeed bullish, we need to see a W on the other side of this downtrend line. It's a potential downtrend line, so it was never confirmed. But nonetheless, a pretty important level. You can imagine a lot of people in the public had this line on their price charts, and we're like, oh, if it moves above there, I'm so gonna buy. Fortunately, I think they got euchred here. Are we creating like a railroad tracks reversal pattern here? Could be. And what I do find fascinating, of course, I'm obsessed with this being, hey, Eddie. And hey, D-Mac, D-Mac's here, and he's ready for Stewart. So Stewart, hope you're ready for D-Mac. And Brian, shut the fuck up. And Connor's here. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of really cool people in the YouTube audience here today. And we also have cool people here in the not too many though. Not too many people actually join the Zoom calls these days. Anyway, back to our story. So we really need to see a W on the other side of this trend line for us to get bullish. And of course, I think the market just got bitch slapped there. This kind of sucks, but it's a trader's life. Here is that sort of image from sort of now we're down to a 4-hour basis. And of course, oh boy, is this troublesome. Huge bearish momentum divergences. Willie officially stupid and then rolling over. You can see and this was actually probably your tell that there was trouble when we did pop the top there and try to break out. It was on lower volume. Notice how this green volume bar here kind of faded away. If this was a bull, and this is great material for you going forward for the rest of your life, really. Um, this is the concept of this volume impetus, that every time we see a new push up, if it actually is a bull, then we want to see more buyers, more buyers, more buyers, right? Just it just keeps building on itself. So the fact that we could not find more buyers to step in and buy up top here was probably a little bit of a warning sign. Having said that, I think what happened here was this is a reload zone. We're not even at new highs, which is fascinating. So I think that there was lots of market structure that built up here, which means that this was basically a liquidity pool. People put their stop loss orders just above these highs, stop loss orders just above these highs, stop loss orders just above these highs. I mean, that's build up a lot of stop loss orders. So they go and trip up that level, ding, 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 ding. And then there's just no follow through buying following that. And we just melted back down. And I suppose if you are a bull, what you really don't want to see is you don't want to see the bears just keep coming and selling more and selling more. And so you can see this most recent red selling candle here. It broke through this high, so that's why we're heading lower in earnest. But we haven't broken through these highs, so that's got to be a bit encouraging for the bulls. My hunch is we're probably just stuck in a trading range. The extremes of OBV are probably going to paint our range for the time being. And if anything, that makes sense. I mean, this is the irony of all this. I started off this conversation down this road. I still think that this halvening event is going to look like the 2015-16 halvening event, where we had a precipitous rally prior to the halvening event, about a month ahead of the halvening event last go round. Market peaked actually 23 days, 23 trading, 23 days, because this trades 24/7 ahead of the halvening event. It looks like, and I think this is everything to do with Mr. Fink and his blatant manipulation of the market through his whole ETF nonsense. And then also, well, anyway, I suppose we don't need to open up that can of worms. But the point is, market pulled back. And, one reason why I think actually that Bitcoin might indeed even become an actual viable fiat currency alternative, I guess, you notice that they're taking the volatility out of price here. And I think now with the ETFs being sort of the retail long proxy and the futures market being the institutional short proxy, they don't actually have to short the ETFs to stop any bulls. They can just step in and just sell futures contracts out the butt. And keep in mind, this is all cash settled, so it's all settled in fiat. I think that they are going to squeeze out the volatility from the market, which should make an interesting scenario here post halvening, because if this was 15-16 repeat kind of conversation, then what I would expect is a correction back to 50% of this trading range, something along these lines, right? And this would actually come all the way down to this 50% level if it looked like that 15-16 cycle. But what's really interesting, and sort of where I think we are right now, you are here now kind of idea. I think that we are in this sideways pattern, and ironically enough, what actually should happen here is price should literally just stop, which is fascinating, because everybody, of course, is man, right? And I think what's going to end up happening here is the volatility heading into this halvening event is just going to literally just disappear. What's really interesting, though, at the same time, is the altcoins. They also have set themselves up location. Do we have indicator confirmation here? It's interesting how we were trying to actually W out here on the indicators. Yeah, I think the jury's still out here on the indicators. They almost look kind of like just sideways. But, oh, Jesus, doesn't that look like a railroad tracks? So if this 2-bar pattern, if we finish the day here, who knows what the hell the day is going to look like at the end of all this. But if we do finish here and then we actually tick lower through these lows, And then that's in itself a railroad tracks 2-bar reversal pattern. And unfortunately, that is bearish. Interestingly enough, we don't actually get an outright top in this market until we actually go and M out below this level here. And you can see I have it noted on the screen. So in a weird sort of way, I still think that we are basically stuck in a trading range. We've come back up and revisited the top end of the range. Maybe we're due to come back and revisit the bottom end of the range. And if we look at the altcoin screen, gotta tell you, things are looking a little grim out there. It's a CO red, no doubt about it, out there in altcoin land. Interesting how some of our kind of fun, like alt kind of names, I've been noticing this come in you. It's a great name for an asset to be invested in. But it's a bit of a contrarian play. So I've been talking to you guys about, when the crypto market does top out, I wouldn't be surprised if a name like this actually bottoms out and starts to appreciate. I have noticed this in I don't know, cycles gone by that we see that there are some of these fun names that kind of go contrary to the market. So if you want, maybe, this is one where, Nanny Nibbles coming in at the bottom end of the range, thinking about accumulating reload zones within reload zones, all that kind of fun talk. You can see Willie is quite stupidly oversold here. I really wouldn't have a problem if you wanted to nibble away on that. And actually, interestingly enough, there are a few names in the fun sort of altcoin universe. I guess that's over here that I actually think look relatively attractive. Try to pick up some of this win. And yesterday in the after party, we actually went through a lot of these names. And actually, we also did some TA on some of Sjord's fundamental picks. I don't know whether he likes the levels that I'm willing to buy his assets at, but I'm a technician. And reload zones are reload zones are reload zones. So anyway, this is kind of an interesting one. Double bottoms within double bottoms. I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly not touting. I am working a bid. If you buy it and you want to participate, great. It's your money. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'll tell you, and I think the value add TRI is we'll tell you what we're doing with our money. And we would like to make money from trading. I think on balance we do okay. I think I personally have had a little bit of a hard time this last cycle because I'm like from the Stone Age where I just place buy order, place sell order, and that's all I think about, centralized exchanges and all that. And I've had my own issues with trying to manage portfolios around sort of working with cold storage wallets and all that. But that doesn't really have a hell of a lot to do with actual picks. What I would just simply say is the general message that we have is just, force yourself to come in and buy against bottoms, sell against tops. We have been doing quite a bit of sell halves on doubles lately and that kind of stuff. And if we look at things like SHIB Inu, I was kind of talking to you guys about, where it's not our job really to predict what's going to happen here. We just got to, roll with the punches. And we kind of talked a little bit recently that, if you were feeling super uber aggressive, maybe you take this little shot in here. And if we break through the bottom here, you got to walk away from that trade. There's no doubt about it. And value purchasers, cheap asses like Brian want to buy reload zones, all that kind of talk. Geez, even if I do this off of this perspective, you can see where my value trade is. It's down here, and ironically enough, it's probably just walking its way down this trend line. So if you're an aggressive trader, trade setups, live with the results, and you have to understand if you're trading trend continuation, if you have a setup that works 60-70% of the time, you have to understand in this game, that means by definition, you will get stopped out. The market will say, sorry, you're wrong in your thesis 30 to 40% of the time. And it's in these kind of environments where you have to be obsessive about risk management. don't, you could very easily have a, hey, I'm bullish and I'm going to take this setup and I think the market's going to go up. And then if you don't respect risk management and this thing breaks down and the crypto market goes into the cupboard for the next 4 or 5 months, you could see what would be a relatively minor loss turn into an absolute disaster. And that's usually what kills most of the retail public when they invest. Can you trade setups? Can you admit that you're wrong when your setup fails and just walk away and take the loss? If you can't, and you better be honest with yourself, but if you can't, then really you have no business trading. And what I often suggest to new people to trading is, just put yourself on, paper trade this for a while. I don't think you know a job until you've done it for 1 full year. All right. Actually, probably not a bad note to wind this up on. On balance, you can kind of even see with this ship. There's the top end of the range, there's the bottom end of the range. We're banging around in between. I actually think that that's basically the stock market right now. If I look at like this stock, we had a very interesting potential bull flag here come in this morning. They went and probed the top of the market, ran all the shorts out. And then they've just gone and probed the bottom of the market, run out all the weak longs. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we finish out just somewhere right in this range. And how can they do that on a day like today? And the answer, of course, is that there really isn't any news and everybody in the market is waiting for tomorrow. So, half of the reason why I'm just here blabbing away endlessly is there really isn't a heck of a lot of econs that are driving the market here today, Tuesday. You can see the only thing we had was RCMTIPP Economic Optimism Index. I did see that the headline that they were saying over here was U.S. businesses are like really, really not happy at all right now. U.S. small business optimism weakest in 11 years. And frankly speaking, with the way that the U.S. Federal Reserve and Granny and Chappelle, who I don't think works for any of us, he works for the damn Illuminati and all that. The way that they totally messed up that banking crisis there a year or two ago, basically set up everybody for failure. I can understand why small business is just reeling right now. And other than that, though, there really isn't a hell of a lot to talk about here today, econ wise. So in that sort of lack of econ driven news window, yeah, the market's just kind of drifting. And we had a big drift to the downside because I think the market was a little bit too over bought. Of course, we have this eclipse event, which I think actually is a market pivot. And interestingly enough, market darlings like this NVDA that I've been talking to you guys about for a while. What's fascinating is that, if you actually look, and Bitcoin's basically the same conversation, we headed into the eclipse here. So into the eclipse window, this thing was just going great guns, right? Just booming, higher highs and higher lows. And look at me, I'm a bull, especially if we change this to like a line chart. And the eclipse window happens, everything just stops on a dime. Then we come out the other side of the eclipse, and I've told you guys this, and I think it's really important, is we have to listen to the market's message coming out the other side of the eclipse. And I thought it was fascinating today, and I tweeted it out, that not only did we confirm an outside downside key reversal, it's a daily one, so it's not that powerful, but you can see engulfing bar, engulfing bar, engulfing bar, which also happens to be a key reversal, significant trend line break, and of course this also confirms on a move through this high a big fat M top. I suppose to confirm this market structure failure, we'd like to see the market actually close below here. You can see that the uber bullish enthusiasm seems to have kind of rolled over, and that's not a good sign from a market darling. We often say that the semiconductors are the ultimate leading indicator in the marketplace. if you may not be getting an actual outright sell, although M tops are actual outright sell signals. Uh, what I would say here, though, is that the writing on the walls is definitely prevalent. And just looking at this, you go, well, I don't know, why are you so bearish? Well, let's put it into context. I mean, what the hell has this thing done over the past 6-8 months? And oh, by the way, there was our last eclipse, right there. So, as I had said, we really want to watch how market's going to behave um, following the eclipse window. And you can see in this case, like they were pointing it down, and then all of a sudden the market pivoted and just ratcheted back up and then didn't look back. So we need to pay attention to what's going on here. There's the eclipse. There's the price action following. We have a big CPI report coming out tomorrow. As I said, today, I wonder whether there's just a little bit of effery going on in the market to just try and wash out as many weak hands as possible. But let's put this into context. We are making lower highs and lower lows now. If you're a fan of that ICT guy, you got market structure failure, big fat mountain man level tag, boom. Market structure failure through this level. This is just rinse and repeat. It's the same damn thing day in, day out. So market structure failure, reload zone, mountain man counter trend rally, bang. So we have actually established downtrends. Remember, this was the eclipse coming out the other side of it. I'd say what happens by the end of the close tomorrow, if we have follow through on this bearish price action, then I think the bull has officially been put to bed for the time being. Having said that, we could very easily see that this was a big fat trap. And if this double bottom holds, and you can see that the market is comfortably above these highs coming out of tomorrow, and maybe we even do something crazy like pop on up here and actually put in some bullish structure above this trend line, then I think the bull is perfectly fine and would probably make another leg higher. And I think you can make the same argument in Bitcoin. Ironically enough, the price action is extremely similar. So, I don't know whether I really want to read too much into today's price action. What I'm just going to simply say is it looks like we are failing against the top end of the range. If we do get nasty bearish, you can see Mr. ICT, we are flirting with breaking through most recent bullish sort of structure. And then if we get that counter trend rally up into 61.8s and then fail, well, that's just going to paint more of these M tops, which will probably get me to go and strap on shorts again. You can see we already have bear divs. We already have Willie Stupid. So really all I need is an M here, and I've got the green light to get back on the short side. Okay, so keep tuned, right? I said tomorrow, I think we have big CPI report coming out of the States. If I'm not mistaken, it might be PPI. Where are we here? Wednesday. Maybe it's, oh, there we are. CPI. Market's going to definitely be moving off of this data first thing tomorrow morning. So if anything, consider today, they're just cleaning the market out, clean out the weak hands, both on the long side and the short side, and almost sort of get ready for the market to have a big move tomorrow, following whatever the inflation news is. All right, let's leave it at that. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. PMA for the win. Let's head on over and hang out with you. If you are a crypto aficionado, there's DMAC. He's ready to quiz Seward. And shut the fuck up, Brian. But let's go hang out with Seward, and let's get a nice little summary of one of his FA names for the library. And let's go and listen to how wonderful life in Europe is with all this wonderful inflation that of course blah 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 blah. Have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win, and let's head on over to the after party and hang out with this Yardmeister and talk some crypto FA. All the best. Bye for now.